Good morning, friends. Welcome to Empty Cloud Monastery. Today we have Bhante Sumitta's last session of the Gradual Teaching. So welcome to Nancy, Aaron, Elaine, Michael, Kumu, and everyone else who's watching but not typing in yet. So without further ado, I'll pass it on to Bhante Sumitta, and I'll type in the website of Bhante Sumitta so you can find all his information there, as well as the text of today's talk. Right, Bhante?
Samantha cakkavalesu atra gaccantu devata saddhammang munirajasa sunantu Saggakathaṃ Dhamma savana kālo ayaṃ bhadantā Dhamma savana kālo ayaṃ bhadantā Dhamma savana kālo ayaṃ bhadantā Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Ye dhamma hetu pabhava te sanghetu tathagato aha te sangcayo nirodho evaṃ vādi mahā samanoti. Honor to him, the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened One. My utmost respect to the perfectly enlightened Samma Sambuddha, the noble doctrine of the Buddha, and the noble Mahasangha, the disciples of the Buddha. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Empty Cloud Monastery and Dhamma talk series on Gradual Teaching Anupubbiṁ kathaṁ, and today is the last session of the series of 8 Dhamma talks. So you are welcome to go through all these Dhamma talks again and again maybe, and try to find that final goal, the way to the final liberation. Are you ready? Okay, now I also have a question from all of you who are joining online. And are you ready? Are you ready to achieve Nibbana, this birth itself, in this bhava itself? If say yes, if no, you can say no. Still working on, you can say that too. I'm working on my exam, I'm working on my promotion, and I'm working on a new apartment. You can say that. Or I am ready to give up everything, give everything, and I'm ready to become Sotapanna. Okay, so if you are ready, we have the message here, and hopefully this small teaching, I think, will be very helpful to you too. One thing you need to write on your wall, wherever you see, maybe if you go to the mirror more frequently, write it down there. Ye dhamma hetu pabhava tesang hetu tathagato aha ye tesanchayo nirodho evang vadi mahasamano. So all phenomena arise from causes. Those causes have been taught by the Tathagata, and their cessation too have been proclaimed by the great Samana. Yeah, this is it. And Yankinchi samudaya dhammang sabbang tang nirodha dhammang, as last night we also mentioned about that. So everything that arises will ceases. So everything arises will cease. This is the way to Nibbana. If you really focus on this thing, you will attain Sotapanna. If you really get the meaning of it, you will attain Sotapanna. Plus, many of you who are very interested in practicing the meditation, I recommend, very highly recommend, read the sutta. Read one sutta before going to meditation, and during the meditation reflect on that. That way you will see a whole different world into your meditation, and that will be really help you. Before going to sleep, read the sutta and then reflect on that sutta, and then sleep. You will also even in dream try to reflect on that meaning. Wake up morning, early morning, read the sutta, and that after that you go to the chanting and practice meditation, and that way you will quickly attain the Sotapanna. And so it's important. This morning when we were chanting Kaccānagotta Sutta, right? I really feel a lot of it brings smile to me when I hear Bhante. It is said, right view, right view. I hear quite often Ayasoma Bhante Sudaso saying, right view, right view. And I feel it's amazing, you know, and everyone says right view, right view. Everyone says sammaditi, sammaditi. What is sammaditi? And if we don't have sammaditi, we cannot walk along the rest of the Noble Eightfold Path. So it's really important to know about the sammaditi. So today we will also discuss about that sutta, depending on our time. So sometime back in the Buddha's time, when the Buddha was already practicing, and he already had some Dhamma, Buddha Dhamma Sangha, and the Triple Gem was established. And then we have a very important meeting happening. And one day, these two friends called Kolita and Upatissa. Kolita and Upatissa, they are the two friends who later became Sariputta and Moggallana. So this Kolita and Upatissa, they were actually followers of Sanjaya, Bellattiputta, Sanjaya a Paribhajaka, and a wanderer Sanjaya was also a wonderful teacher and ascetic, and already Upatissa and Kolita, they were very powerful people. They were also having some followers, like 250 people were following them, even when they left their household life to practice. And they somehow did not feel confident of what they were doing. And then the two friends were talking to each other. Yo patamang amatang adhigacchati, so itarasa arocheti. This is also very important. Whoever attains the deathless, amatang means deathless. That is the liberation. Whoever attains the deathless first, he should inform the other. Itarang arochetu. And that was how they decided to go separate, and then started finding a teacher. And then when they were walking, Venerable Assaji, Ayasma Assaji, that was part of the 5 disciples, Konnanya Vappa Bhade Mahanama Assaji, the last one. And he was already an Arahanta person. And then he was walking along the streets in Rajagaha or Rajgir. And the minute Upatissa saw him, he saw a difference. Addasa ko Sariputtu Paribhajiko Ayasmantang Assajing Rajagahe Pindaya Charamanang, and Pasadikena Abhikantena Patikantena Alokitena Vilokitena Samminjitena Pasaritena Okhitta Chakkung Iriyapata Sampannang Diswana Etadahosi. When he saw Venerable Assaji walking for alms in Rajagaha, pleasing in going forward, in going back, and in looking ahead, in looking around, in bending, in stretching, having downcast eyes, and endowed with good posture. Having seen him, this occurred to Sariputta or Upatissa. Ye vata loke arahanto va arahatta maggang samapanna. He has not seen an arahanta before, a liberated one before. But the moment he saw this wonderful monk Assaji, he decided, he knew of those in the world who are worthy or have entered the path to worthiness, this monk is a certain one of them. And he was very confident. Ayang tesam bhikkhu anyataro. This one is one of those great Arahanta monks. Then he thought, why should I not approach him and talk to him? And then again he thought, he wanted to ask, who is your teacher? What is the teaching that you follow? All these things he wanted to ask. Then again he thought, this is not the right time. You also have to wait for the right time. Akalo ko imang bhikkhum puchitun. This is the wrong time to ask the monk, because he was wandering for his alms. And then he was following. Sariputta was following him. And then after, when he saw that Assaji has, Venerable Assaji has finished his alms, he approached him, paid salutation to him, and then sat by one side and then asked, your faculties, friends, are very clear. Purified is your skin and bright. Vippasannani kote auso indriyani parisuddho chavivanno pariyodato. Even everything what I see in you is so different. And on account of whom, friend, did you go forth? Or go forth means pabbajito means go forth or becoming a monk. Because of whom did you become a monk? Ko ate sattha, who is your teacher? Kasavate dhammang rochesi, whose dhamma that you prefer, that you follow. Attauso mahasamano sakya putto sakya kula pabbajito tahang bhagavantang uddissa pabbajito. There is, friend, a great ascetic called Sakya's son, who is called Shakya Muni Buddha, and he is a member of the Shakya clan, and I am following him. I am following that fortunate one, the blessed one. I became a monk just because of him. Socha me Bhagava Sattha, he is my teacher. And tassa chaham bhagavato dhammang roches me. That is the dhamma, whose dhamma that I prefer. And then what is that dhamma? Can you please tell me? And then he says, I am new to this sasana. I'm still not very experienced. Okay, I'm just new. And apangwa bahungwa, sorry, he says, natahang sakkomi vittarena dhamman desetum adunagato iman dhamma vinaya. He's so humble and such a simple monk, still an arahanta, liberated person. But he said, I'm recently, I became a monk recently, and I'm also not able to explain things in detail. And then he said, I don't really want in detail, even just a little bit. Essence is enough for me. And then Venerable Asaji, he explains the Dhamma in simple detail, the essence. That essence is the topic that I use today in the Dhamma talk. Ye Dhamma hetu pabhava tesang hetung tathagato aha tesanchayo nirodho evang vadi mahasamano. Whatever things have a cause and source, their cause the realized one, the blessed one, has told, and also that which is their cessation. Such is the great ascetics doctrine. Such is the great Mahasamana's doctrine, the teaching. So when the Venerable Asaji told the first two lines of this stanza, Venerable ascetic Sariputta already became Sotapanna. He already opened up. Just two lines were enough for him. He was already almost about to be blossomed. And that's why he was waiting for the right time too. And then he was ready. And when he was ready, Venerable Asaji gave him the teaching in essence. And having heard the first two lines of that stanza, he already became Sotapanna. And he says, it is said, Virajang Vitamalang Dhamma Chakkung Udapadi. The dust-free, stainless vision of the Dhamma arose in him. So this is what we are trying to do today. We are talking about that Dhamma Chakku, that vision of the Dhamma. And then he went to, there was a promise to his friend. Do you remember his friend's promise? That whosoever finds the Dhamma before will inform the other one too. So he went in search of his wonderful friend, who has been his friend not only this birth but for many, many births before. They were very wonderful friends together. Together they have been working, and together they have been practicing. And then at the minute Moggallana or Kolita saw his friend, he already knew there is something special in him. my friend looks like he has found the deathless Amataṃ. And then he talked to him. Amauso Amataṃ adhigatoti. Kachinu tvang auso Amataṃ adhigatoti. Have you found, my friend, did you attain the deathless? Yes, ama means yes. Also, friend, Amataṃ adhigato. I have attained the deathless. I have finally found the teaching that I have been looking for so many, through so many teachers. I have tried to find. Finally, I found it. And then he discuss about that, and then he also tell the same stanza, and when Moggallana or Kolita also became Sotapanna. Now they both are Sotapanna, and eventually they went back to their teacher. Who was their teacher? Sanjay. Yes, Sanjay. They went to their teacher, and they told him, we found the finally we found the teaching, the right path. Do you like to join us? And Sanjay felt very awkward. He was already having led a big team of followers, and he didn't want to become a follower anymore. That somehow was his ego, was his conceit, and was his ignorance maybe. And so these two friends were very kind to him, and they asked him 3 times, not only 1 time. 3 times they asked, do you like to join us? And we are going to find the teacher, the Buddha. Do you want to join us? 3 times he refused, and then they had to leave. With due respect to Sanjay, and praying for all well-being and happiness for him, the 2 friends left. And then along with them, there were 250 followers too, and they also decided, should we take them, or maybe we will talk to them. If they are happy, they can join, or else they can do whatever they want. It was not required for them to follow us. And then they discussed, everyone wanted to join Moggallana, Sariputta Moggallana. They all went, and the Buddha was talking to the monks. The Buddha saw the 2 friends coming. Already he knew, these are my future brand ambassadors. The biggest, the most powerful commanders of my army, these 2 people and the 2 friends. Buddha already told the other monks, you know who is coming now? This is Sariputta and Moggallana. They are very wise. They are going to lead our community later on. And then eventually they became monks, and then later on they also became Agga Savaka. They became the chief disciples of the Buddha. And so Venerable Sariputta's capacity to teach the Dhamma, explain things in detail, we discussed yesterday too. And Venerable Sariputta had that amazing capacity to establish oneself in Sotapannahood. Is a really amazingly powerful thing. So if you see some sutta in the Tipitaka that Venerable Sariputta has supposed to explain, go ahead and read them. That will be very very useful. And after reading that, go ahead and sit and meditate. And that will also be really, really helpful. And Sammaditthi Sutta again is another sutta that Venerable Sariputta explained. And I also have another sutta called Paticca Samuppada Vibhanga Sutta, analysis of dependent co-arising, Samyutta Nikaya 12.2, another sutta by Venerable Sariputta. And then Asutta Sutta, Samyutta Nikaya 12.61, uninstructed then that's another sutta on this teaching. Samadhi Sutta, concentration, Samyutta Nikaya 22.5 is another very important resource for you. And then we have another very powerful sutta called Mahahattipadopama Sutta. This is Majjhima Nikaya 28, the great elephant fruit simile. Very, very important sutta for Paticca Samuppada or dependent co-arising. That will be very helpful for the learning today. Ahara Sutta, Samyutta Nikaya 46.51, food. Also for the factors of awakening, this sutta will be very handy for you. Another sutta, Majjhima Nikaya 61, Ambalattika Rahulavada Sutta, instructions to Buddha's son, Siddhartha's son. And when he was ready to accept when he was ready to blossom, Buddha preached this, gave this powerful Dhamma talk to Rahula, who became a monk at the age of 7. And this sutta was supposedly preached by the Buddha when he was 18 or something, or 18 or 21 something. Yeah, but he was already matured enough to grasp the Dhamma. He took some time to attain Arahanthood. And then again, Upatissa Pasine, Upatissa's question, or another sutta in Mahavagga. I also used a small girl. You will be surprised if you know Sinhala. And the way she teaches the Dhamma, she started teaching Dhamma when she was 3.5 years old. And the Dhamma she teaches is so powerful, I must say, so profound. And there is a YouTube channel called Sachi Samidu. All her teachings are there, and really, really powerful teachings. And she knows the Pali stanzas. She can say things in hand, and so also she is able to explain with so many beautiful examples. I found this would be really, really important if we can. I hope I can add the English subtitles for the other people to know. I highly recommend with 5-star. If you can follow this, that will be really very helpful. Sachi Samidu, SACHI space SAMIDU, Sachi Samidu. Maybe I have already added that to the resource in my article, so you can have a look and read this. Maybe I will show you. Read this. Maybe I will show you. Sorry. Let me. Okay. Sabbe papasse akaranam ikalase upasambada saticca pariyo dapanam etam buddhanu sasanam. Maka Sinhala තේරුම කියන්න බෑ කි ඒ ගාථා. සියලු කුසලයන්ගෙන් මිදෙන්න කුසල කරන්න සිත දමනය කරගන්න එයා පුදුමය දේශනා. The girl says here, if you do good things, you will go to heaven. If you do bad things, you will go to hell. And if you control your mind, you will go to the Buddha. So the father asks, what will happen if you go to heaven and hell? You will be born again and again. Whether you are born in the heaven or the hell, You will be born again and again. So there is no end. So what will happen? You go to Buddha. You will not be born again. That will be the end of your samsara. Uh, really, very small videos. At the beginning, I noticed that the father is trying to get her words, and she is finding it a little difficult at the beginning. She also says, I'm 3.5 that time, and then later, now I think maybe she is maybe 5 years something. Now she can speak maybe like half an hour. And even the meditation, the teachings are really very, very powerful. So it's good. We still have those wonderful resources around us. Okay. So with that, let's go to the sutta today. Anupubbiṁ and Kaccānagotta Sutta. So everyone is very familiar with that, right? So I like the Sammaditthi Sutta too. Sammaditthi Sutta is more explanatory by Venerable Sariputta, but I thought Kaccānagotta Sutta is Buddha's own words, so his own teaching. So that will be a good way to begin with today. So the Buddha is talking about that Sāvatyang vihirati jetavane atako ayasma kaccānagoto jena bhagavate upasankami. At Savatthi, Venerable Kaccānagotta approached the Blessed One, upasankamitva bhagavantang abhivaditva ekamantan nisidi, bowed to him and sat to one side. I used the translation of the temple. And Ekamantan nisinno ko asma kaccānagotta bhagavantang etadavoca. Having sat down, he asked the Buddha, Sammaditthi Bhante uchati. This is very famous. I have the echo already when the Bhante, the Mahasangha members chant there in the vihara over there, meditation hall. Bhante it is said, right view, right view. Kittavatānuko Bhante Sammaditthi hoti. How is there this right view? Then Dvaya Nissito ko ayang. This is dual, twofold. Attitancha, nattitancha, and existence and non-existence. So whether it is Sassatavada or Uchedavada, it can be the view of eternalism or the view of annihilation. After this, so some people say after this we will live forever, or some would say after this there is no more birth. That's it. And then loka samudayang ko yatha bhutang samapanna sammapanyaya passato ya loke nattita sana hoti. But one who accurately and wisely sees the arising of the world does not believe in non-existence. So many people think we have existence, and the wise people think there is no. They believe the world does not believe in non-existence. Loka nirodhang ko yatha bhutang sammapanyaya passato yaloke attita sa na hoti. And one who accurately and wisely sees the cessation of the world does not believe in existence. So the wise people do not go to any of these extremes. And Kaccana, most of this world is bound to attachment, grasping, and inflexibility. But when one does not engage in that tendency towards attachment, grasping, mental rigidity, and inflexibility, and then they think one does not grasp at or form a rigid viewpoint about myself. Atta, they don't have that. We will discuss in detail a little later. Let me go ahead and discuss about the I think I would like to go to the dependent origination. So in the sutta, there is, without going to either extreme, the Tathagata teaches the Dhamma by the middle. Avijja paccaya sankhara. Dependent on ignorance, there is discrimination, sankhara, and sankhara paccaya viññānaṃ. Dependent on discrimination, there is consciousness. Viññāna paccaya nama rūpaṃ. Dependent on consciousness, there is mind and body. And nama rūpa paccaya salayatana. Dependent on mind and body, there are 6 senses. And salayatana paccaya passo. Dependent on 6 senses, there is contact. Passa paccaya vedana. Dependent on contact, there is feeling. Vedana paccaya tanha. Dependent on feeling, there is craving. Tanha paccaya upadanaṃ. Dependent on grasping, there is existence. Upadana paccaya bhavo. Dependent on existence, there is birth. Bhava paccaya jati. Dependent on existence, there is birth. Jati paccaya jara maranaṃ. Dependent on birth, there is decay and dying. Soka parideva dukkha domana supayasa sambhavanti. Sorrow, grief, pain, depression, and anguish come to be. Evametasa kevalasa dukkha khandasa samudayo hoti. That is how this whole mass of dukkha arises. So now I think the opposite is the nirodha. When it comes to what do you call avijja? Avijja is one of those most powerful links in the dependent origination. There are 2 things in, I think, in paticca samuppada or dependent origination that we have to think very as most powerful links. That is, one is avijja, the other is tanha. Yes. So last time I also mentioned there are 3 powerful things in the world. Massive structures. Do you remember? What are these 3? Massive structures in the world.
The ocean.
Yes, the ocean.
Mountains.
Yes, the mountain, and the earth, right? So Mahameru, and also it is also called the Sineru Pappata, and then the great ocean, Mahasamudra, and the Mahapatavi, the great earth. These are massive structures, and it is even almost unthinkable for us that they will also disappear one day. Right? Let alone our body, and let alone these small trees, plants, and these houses and all. This will also survive like hundreds of years, right? And yet it will go. Now you see some of those decaying still happening, and that's why you have to call the companies to come and maintain. And so the other things will also go away. And then this Maha Samudra, or the great ocean, will also dry without leaving any trace of water. Can you imagine one day it will happen? And then the great earth itself will also be gone. And then even the great mountain, the Sineru Pabbata, will also be gone. There will be no sign of them one day. And yet, avijja will be with us. This is the most important thing. Avijja will still be with us, and it will still take us in the samsara. It will carry us throughout the samsara. This is very scary if you think. That is why avijja paccaya sankhara. This ignorance thing is so strong. Because of that, we fabricate karma, so sankhara. And when we do sankhara, when we create sankhara, when we create karma, and sankhara pacchaya viññānaṃ, we will have that karmic viññāna in us. And viññāna pacchaya nāma-rūpaṃ, right? Because of viññāna, we have the nama-rupa, name and form. Karmic viññāna can lead us to name and form. Arahanta people, when they die, there will be no more karmic formations for them, no more avidya, nothing for them. And Angulimala, for example, although he did so many bad karma, but he would also not be born again, because even though they have the chuti chitta, the final chitta, they will not grasp any other birth in the hell or whatever. There is nothing for them. They will not fabricate any karma. So avidya pacchaya sankhara, sankhara pacchaya viññānaṃ, viññāna pacchaya nama-rūpaṃ. Name and form are also called like leper and the blind. Leper, the person with that handicap, he can walk, and the blind person cannot see. And so when the leper mounts back on the shoulder of the blind person, with the help of each other, they can walk. The leper will can see, so he will show the way, and the blind person, although he cannot see, with the help of leper, he can walk. So both of them can walk. So nama rupa is compared to leper and the blind. So same thing like in our body, with the help of the viññāna or the mind, we walk in the samsara. So nama rupa pacchaya salayatana. Then when we have the nama rupa, we have the 6 faculties: chakku, sota, gana, jivha, kaya, mana. The eye and the ear and the nose and the tongue and the body and the mind. So these 6 faculties will be there. And salayatana pacchaya passo. Because of that, we will have the contact. Through eye, we see something, and that will be the passa. And then through ear, we hear something, that will be the contact. Through nose, we smell something, that will be the contact. And through tongue, we taste something, that will be the contact. Through body, we also touch something, and that is the bodily contact. And through mind, also we have the Dhamma, mind object, that is the contact for mind. So when we have the passa or the contact, then what we do, we already create karma through that. There will be vedana, passa pacchaya vedana. This vedana can be sukha dukkha or adukkha sukha, or also called upekkha. It can be happy feeling, like when you see something, you might have happy feeling, or you might have unhappy feeling, or you might have neutral feeling. So any of these can come to you. But through this, we also create karma, because we desire, we have the craving through this. When we see something pleasant, we create a karma. That is by having craving towards that. It can be a form, it can be a sound, it can be a smell, it can be a taste, it can be bodily contact or mental object. Then craving can come to us. And because of craving, we also grasp it. And then it becomes upadana, and upadana leads us to the existence. And because we think we need to have it more longer, we need this pleasant sensation for a longer time, and then that leads to jati, the birth. We talked about the birth last night too. So the birth will be the beginning of another innumerable sufferings, like jatipacchaya jara, like decay in the body, and then marana, and then vyadhi, the death, and then the sicknesses, and then soka, like when you see someone who is close to you, so dear to you, leaving, and you have grief, and that mental grief can also lead you to cry. The outward, that is parideva, and then because of that you become bodily also weak, then also suffering, dukkha, and then also you have mental suffering, dejection and depression, and that is called domanassa. This domanassa can lead you to upayasa, and that is bodily again. The mental suffering can lead to bodily tediousness, or even people can feel like faint or unconscious, and some people and even think of like committing suicide. These suicidal thoughts can also occur to some people when we are in upayasa state. So this whole mass of suffering can be there, starting from all the avijja paccaya sankhara, sankhara paccaya vijnanam, and all. So when we see these links, actually they are again linked to each other. We can really say what is the beginning, what is the end. They can be anywhere, and it's like a circle. But some of those powerful links can be avijja and tanha. And some of them can be the past, some of the factors in the past, atite hetavo pancha, those factors in the past can lead us to our present existence, idani phala panchakam, and idani hetavo pancha, this present causes can lead us to ayating phala panchakam, the future. This can be our future results. So this present or past and the future can be connected to each other through dependent origination. That is why this dependent origination in Buddhism is so unique and so powerful and so modern. Even in today's world, it's such highly philosophical, and such a profound teaching in Buddhism is really unparalleled and unmatched, I would like to say. So the Buddha says, when you know the cause is if the cause is avijja, when you remove the cause, there will be no sankhara. So when you have no, so say it says here in the sutta, avijja avijjayateva sesa viraga nirodho sankhara nirodha. However, when through dispassion, ignorance completely ceases, discrimination ceases. So when the sankhara is gone, vijnana will be gone, and when the vijnana is ceased, the namarupa will be ceased. When the namarupa will be ceased, the contact salayatana will be ceased. When the salayatana will be ceased, phassa will be ceased. When the phassa will be ceased, then tanha will be ceased. Vedana, right? Vedana will be ceased. And when the Vedana will be ceased, tanha will be ceased. When there is no tanha, no upadana. When there is no upadana, no bhava. When there is no bhava, no jati. No jati means no jara. no vyadi, no marana, no soka parideva dukkha domanasa upayasa. All this whole mass of suffering will no longer be there. So in a way, the little girl says in another video, we are all in a dream. We all fabricate things. We create things all by ourselves. So the most important thing is to understand. Let's say, like, look at the body. We can see the body, right? And then we have to see the four elements of the body. And whenever we see a form, look at the four elements. And when we meditate upon our kayagata sati or kayanupassana, look at the four elements. Some of the body parts we have pathavi, the solidity. We can find the solid nature of some of the body parts. What are those? Yes, bones, and then skin, and then teeth. Yes, and also the hair. So some of these are actually body parts that can very clearly show that they have pathavi, or what do you call, solid nature. But then that's not the only thing. All the elements are there. Predominant factor is pathavi. Even in the bone or the teeth, the other factors are also involved. But predominantly we see the solidity or the pathavi nature. And then in our body, we also have apo nature, what do you call, liquidity, right? There are so many, like when we cry and when we urinate, and in our blood, so many liquidity, various kinds of liquidity we have in our body. I think in a human body, the bulk of the composition is made of water. Yeah. Do you know the percentage? I think 97%. 75. Oh yeah, whatever. So the major part of the body actually consists of water, right? I was just thinking, the resin thing, and also the what do you call, the grape. The grape in full form is so round shape, and it's full and juicy, and then it becomes resin. It's so dried, no water, right? So our body also is like that. And at the beginning, we become very bright and shining and very strong and full, and later on, the water element is gone, and we wrinkle, and our humidity is gone, and it's so different. Just like that, the body, we can see this nature in our body. So the apo is another quality that the meditation practitioners have to see in ourselves. And then tejo means the warmth. If our body doesn't have warmth, it will be difficult for us to survive. In Dhammapada, I remember the Buddha says, Ayu usmacha viññānaṃ yada kāyaṃ jahantimaṃ apaviddo tada seti niratthaṃ kalinga. So the body has ayu, the lifespan, and then usma means warmth, and then viññāna, the consciousness. If these three things leave the body will not be able to move. It will be so dried up, just like a log. It will fall flat on the earth. It is said, apaviddo tadaseti niratthaṃ kalingaram. So it's very important to have the warmth in us. You know how different it is, like when we have few degrees change in body temperature, we will get sick, right? And you will see the body temperature changes, and if the outside temperature changes, we also feel it inside. And if it is colder, we feel different, and if it is warmer, it is also different. And luckily this earth also is located in such a way, not so far from the sun and not so close to the sun. And if few more degrees different or distance from the sun, or if it is far away from the sun, little far away from the sun, we will be frozen. We will not be able to maintain our body temperature in ourselves. Also the whole world will be frozen. And if we are a little more closer to the sun, then again we will be melt. It will be not easier for us to survive. Not only us, the entire earth will be burnt, melt. So that is the power of the temperature too. So the body also has that temperature. We can feel when we touch our body. And also, have you ever touched a dead body? That will be very cold, right? No more temperature. Just few hours the body can retain the temperature, and after that it will be very, very cold. That's also amazing. So then Tejo and the Vayu. Vayu means, yeah, or wind or emptiness that we have. We have so many holes in our body. And also we have Uddhangama Vayu and Adhogama Vayu. Some wind can lead things upward, and some wind can take downward. So different kinds of movement. We have that movement because of that wind nature or the Vayu nature in us. So these four elements are again very important to notice. And if you recognize these things in the meditation, you will be able to recognize these things in the real world too. That way you will not fabricate things. You will not create karma. That will be very helpful. And I think I told you about a monk who was practicing Attika Bhavana, Attika Sanya, a meditation on bone, and he kept on meditating on that. While he was walking for Pindapata, he saw a woman coming to him, and the woman was smiling. And then the woman passed by, and then her husband also came, and the husband asked, looks like they were having a fight with each other. And then the woman was running away, and then the man, the husband was following and asked the monk, did you see a woman passing by? And then the monk said, I'm not sure a woman or a man, but I saw a skeleton for sure. So the monk was actually still practicing the Attika Sanya, and he saw the form coming, and as he was as the woman approached the monk, when she was coming closer to the monk, and she actually smiled out of respect. And then the minute she smiled, the monk saw the teeth. When he saw the teeth, the entire body, he saw the entire skeleton of the body. That was the power of meditation that he was having. So he said, I did not see a man or a woman, but I saw a skeleton. The monk felt weird. And yeah. So these things again are very important practices for you to work upon. And actually having seen these four elements will also be very helpful in not creating any more karma. fabricating karma. So our challenge in meditation is to keep the mind in the present moment. That is the most challenging part that we can have. So not in the past, not in the future, but right now, right here. So the Buddha says also in many suttas, atitaṃ nānusochanti nappajappanti nāgataṃ paccupannena yapenti tena vanno pasidati. They don't worry about the past. Atitaṃ nānusochanti nappajappanti nāgataṃ. You don't daydream about the future. It has not yet come. So the past also gone. It's again a dream, like a dream, and the future, it has not yet come. Again, it's like a dream. And the little girl, she says the present can be divided into two. One is the things that we have in the back of the eyes. What is there in the back of me? You can see a window, a wall, and all these things. But I can't see that. I know there is a wall. I know there is a Buddha statue. I know. Why do I know that? Because I have seen it before. I have seen it before. There is a Buddha statue. And I also have heard it from other people. This is called a Buddha statue. And I have heard, oh, this is a beautiful Buddha statue. And all these things also, it is different and different art. And in the back, there is another Buddha statue. And then there is a wall, there are windows, all these things I don't see now, but it was in my memory. So it's in my memory. Even though it is present, it's still in my memory. And again, it's like a dream. What about the things in front of me? Again, I see all the monks and nuns, and also the lay devotees, and I can see the wall, I can see the books and all these things, and I name them because I have heard from my parents and my teachers and my elders and friends. Okay, this is called a human being, this is called a book, this is called a wall, this is called a house, this is called light. I have heard, I have learned from them, and those memories are with me. And without those memories, without those learnings, I won't be able to recognize any of these things, just like that. I would call Bhante Sudaso, Bhante Kovilo, because I have heard those names. And it took me some time to remember even. Right? So, and some of your names I don't remember too, but some of you, yes. So these things are our knowledge, our memory. It's not really again true. And then if we apply those four elements, this again is like skeletons. And then again, even the skeleton can become like a dust, and then if the wind comes and the dust will be gone, nothing. So sunyata anumita, there is nothing, emptiness, empty clouds, emptiness. So this is why the little girl says, we are all in a fantasy world, a dream world. Nothing is true, nothing is real. That's amazingly powerful teaching, though. Right? So okay, that's it again for today then, and I would like to conclude the session, and also this is the end of our series of Dhamma talks, and I hope it was helpful to you, and please keep working on. And yeah, if you are ready, if you have that Kallacittaṃ, muducittaṃ, udaggacittaṃ, and pasannacittaṃ, then you are ready to accept yankinchi samudaya dhammam sabbantang nirodha dhammam. So you are also able to see the Four Noble Truths, dukkha samudaya nirodha magga. These are all interconnected, and hopefully you will be able to practice the Nekkhamme Saṅkappa, Vyapada Saṅkappa, Vihimsa Saṅkappa, hopefully you will be able to practice the Noble Eightfold Path. And then hopefully you will be able to achieve the Nibbana, the complete absence of all forms of desires and attachment. And with that good intention, I would like to conclude. Thank you.
Namayang Dhammakataya Saddhukāraṃ Dadamase
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu,
anumodami. Thank you so much, Bhante Sumitta, for that Dhamma talk and for all the lovely teachings that you've been sharing with us for the past weeks. Lots of thank yous from online, actually a lot of thank yous, a very long list. And but there are no questions actually. Bhante?
So
Yes.
The young girl that you mentioned, Sachi Samido, I think you said her name.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think she attained stream entry in a previous life?
I personally feel like, I don't know, I might be wrong, but I feel like she is in Sakadagami state.
Okay.
Wow.
I just feel it. Because the way she teaches, and also she's so small and she remembers so many things. And the way she teaches her father, amazing. You can teach them, you can learn them by heart those things. Already she learned. And so she, not only, like one returner, right? She might be able to attain the Nibbana here itself. Because understanding the explanation, amazing. And one time she says, okay, meditate. I have never heard such a meditation, she says. Like in the dark, you practice and keep two candles by either side of you, and maybe with some distance, and look through the eyes like this. Okay, like this. And that way you will be able to focus. And also she says we should not create any thoughts. So no mind, no chitta. So kind of trying to empty. And then also she is giving another meditation, Kammatthana, to her father. Look at something like a pole, and in between that pole and yourself, keep looking at in between and see that emptiness, so that you will also not create any chitta. These are truly amazing, such a small girl explaining things like that. Really, really wonderful. I'm planning to actually translate those things for the benefit of the others. Yeah.
Yeah, there were also some requests there, and I think that really convinced me to learn Sinhala. So
yeah, that's amazing. Like how also it's a very powerful example of rebirth.
Yeah.
And also the Kamma, and how these small girls, small children, and they can. There is another young boy I remember in Sri Lanka. Dhammaruwan. Maybe, very recently, again, he can speak English so fluently, like typical American accent. I can speak like that, He just started, again, very small. He has never been to any international school or something. He speaks English. He speaks also Hindi. And some Indian people would come there and talk to him, and then he would speak in Hindi. And then if an English person comes to him, he will speak in fluent English. Amazing. And then he can also speak Sinhala. Yes.
And Ajahn Kavilo, you had a question?
Yeah, I think I read that maybe in the 1900s it was like there was a it was the common belief in Sri Lanka that it was no longer possible to become an arahant. Like the last arahant had died and it was no longer possible.
No, I don't think it is the case, because Buddha said as long as the Dhamma is there, as long as you practice the Dhamma, the world will not be empty of arahants. Even today there can be arahants. There is like, the stories can be there, but arahantas can be there today, even now. Maybe they don't, they don't give that title like doctor or professor or something. They would definitely not do that, and they will also not come to the televisions and mass media on Facebook and all. I'm arahant, they will not say, they will not say that. But there will be, even among, you never know how those simple lifestyle they have, even among homeless people. They will be so happy. Poor people, maybe they will be so happy, and you might be able to recognize them too. When Venerable, when Upatissa saw that, when Sariputta saw Asaji, Venerable Asaji, he was simple monk, walking for food, begging for food, going for alms round. He saw that, immediately he recognized, or he should be either an arahant himself or on the way to that. You can recognize, and you yourself should be able to recognize your status. Like, see if you have sakkaya ditthi. For example, we are right now meditating, and suddenly you see an earthquake happens, and then you will start going run away. If there is a case like an arahant, they will not be alarmed, or they will not be scared. Did I say the story of the teacher who was teaching meditation, and then he thought himself an arahant, but his student already an arahant. He saw that the teacher is not arahant. He's not even in any of those sotapanna also. One day he wanted to go and meet him, and then he told him, after a discussion, I'm so happy, and thank you, and for teaching me, and all those wonderful thoughts. He would also ask him, are you able to create many magical things? Yes, I can. He was already having those jhanic powerful iddhis he had. So then he asked, the young monk asked, will you be able to create an elephant so violent and so so dangerous, ramming into us? Oh, it's very easy, I can make it. So he created it, and then when the elephant was coming, the teacher was so scared. The student monk had to catch him by his robe and say, if you are an arahant, you will not be scared, will you? Then only he opened his eyes. Oh my Buddha, I have never had the speck of a thought like that. I thought I was already arahant. Now I know I'm not even so close to that. And then he begged him, please help me. And then the student monk already was deciding, okay, I'm determined, I am there to help you. And then he helped him fix. See, it's many things are there. Like you were saying, if you are having that mana or conceit, I'm your teacher, how can I learn from you? But then you can learn anything. You have to be simple, humble. That is also fighting against the mana. And then he was able to receive that teaching. He had to fix just a little bit, minor error, minor mistake in him. So he set it up, and he became arahant. So there can be things like that in many of us. So we should be able to learn from each other. We should be able to practice and also be humble and simple. These are all powerful tools for us to practice.
Wonderful. Thank you, Bhante. And Monica has a question. Not sure if I heard correctly that sankhara was translated as discrimination. I learned that it was mental formation, deposits from kamma. Can you please clarify? Thank you.
Yeah, well, that is the first time I also actually got that translation from the temple here. So I just used it. Yeah, mental formation is another word that many people use. Bhante Sumitta, do you like to clarify that one?
Yeah, so I actually got that from another translator, and I don't remember who. But the justification was that discrimination is breaking things up into separate things. So sankharas are all the separate things that we think reality is made up of. So from the basis of vijja, then we create this experience of all these different sankharas, all these seemingly different things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I agree. Discrimination is not
Yeah.
the best word.
Yeah,
it has
yeah.
other connotations
Mm-hmm,
that are
mm-hmm.
not relevant.
That's right. So I was little bit of not so confident of that, but yes, the most important thing is sankhara means you like fabrication. Mental formation also would be better translation.
And there's lots of thank yous for your future project of translating the little girls' Dhamma talks. Jessica, in fact, says, if a 3-year-old can attain so early in life so much of the Buddha's teachings and so young, there is hope for all of us.
Definitely. There is always, we have to think. Many people think, like we wait for the Maitreya Buddha to come. We don't know when he will come. Do we have any idea, like how many years, how many thousands of years? We don't know. Right? And also, do we have any guarantee by that time we will be a human being, or we will be someone who can, be closer to the Buddha's Dhamma? You never know. So, I mean, better than waiting for such a long time. This is the golden time that we have. This is the golden opportunity that we have. We have, like, as humans, so we also have the Dhamma. Just a matter of practicing and keep practicing. Maybe you will then, if you keep practicing, if not here today, maybe within this birth, if you try to attain some sort of attainment, something, it's not like you can be really very happy about all your other material achievement, about your degrees, about your temples, number of temples, or about the property that you have, all the vehicles or whatever, businesses. Yeah, that can also be good. But then the most important thing is that will lead you back to the samsara. And anything can happen to you, like the fire will take away the IRS or IRS will take away, and the robbers will take away all these things. Nothing impermanent. Nothing is permanent there. So, but the thing that we can take with us is the practice and the merits and the practice of meditation, practice jhana. Also try to achieve the sotapanna at least. That will be the only hope for all of us, because the samsara is so dangerous. The meaning of monk, bhikkhu, sansare bhayang ikkatiti bhikkhu. So the monk is the person who sees fear in the samsara, and that is also called bhikkhu. So we have to have that fear in the samsara. If you love the samsara, then it's difficult for us. Do you get any response from from the people? Okay, who is ready to achieve Nibbana?
Actually, there was a lot of readiness
Very
expression.
nice.
Yeah,
Yes.
Jayanta also, if I remember correctly, was like, I'm retired, I'm totally ready. Michael's very ready. Geeta had said, yeah, there's so much suffering. I don't remember exactly, but she said, so much suffering when I'm ready. Yeah, she says, yes, Bhante, we have been suffering for far too long. It's true.
So this is the thing, like this nibbida, what we call nibbida, that that tiredness, like you are tired of this thing, that nibbindati, how do you call it in English?
Disenchantment.
Disenchantment. Okay, yeah, this disenchantment is very important, and this detachment is very important. When you have that nibbida virajyati, then you are not attached to when you have the disenchantment. And viraga vimuchyati, when you have that detachment, then you will be liberated. Vimuttasming vimuttamiti jnanam udapati. When you have that liberation in you, you will recognize, I am already there, I'm on board. So you will be the happiest person. And that is a very important stage for you to recognize the suffering. Remember, dukkha satya is not to be eliminated. Dukkha satya is to be recognized, right? Abhiññeyyam abhiññātaṃ, bhāvetabbaṃ ca bhāvitaṃ, pahātabbam pahinam me tasma buddhosmi brahmana. So the truth that has to be understood is the suffering, truth of suffering. And then the truth that has to be given up is the truth of samudaya satya, the second truth that has to be given up. The first one, you cannot give up the suffering. You have to recognize it. That's very important, not to panic with that. You recognize it, that's it. And then you see the root cause of it, and that is the tanha, the craving, the desire, all forms of attachment. This is it. And then you have to give it up there. And then the third one is pahinam, saggakataṃ. That is to be realized. The nibbana is to be realized. And then the fourth truth is to be cultivated. Bhāvetabbaṃ ca bhāvitaṃ. That is the magga satya. And if you follow these things, you will be good, and you will be ready. And every time you read something, you hear some Dhamma talk to some friends, have some wonderful Kalyana Mitta friends around, and if they are far away, still be in touch, maybe through internet. Today we still can do that, and that will be so much better. And I think through this this internet YouTube Dhamma talks, many people are combined, and they are so wonderful people. I noticed some of the names that Yasoma would mention, like some of the names I already remember, some I have never seen, but they have been listening to these Dhamma talks all the time. So wonderful, right? These are the wonderful Kalyana Mittas, because they know the value of it. And some of the people have already made sure. I have so many other household activities. I have practiced that Nekkhamme. I am ready to come to the temple, practice here in the temple, practice the 8 precepts. I see these wonderful, wonderful people practicing and listening Dhamma talk. All these are really very important to all of us. So make sure, listen to the Dhamma, have Kalyana Mitta friends, and practice. Yes.
Thank you so much, Bhante. So yeah, I think we're just out of time, and we will be meeting again this evening for monk chat, where you can ask all your Dhamma questions or Dhamma related questions to the panel of monastics that will be here. And if you're around this weekend, around Empty Cloud Monastery in New Jersey, USA, tomorrow afternoon, Bhante Sumitta will be leading walk in the nature reserve close by. So you're welcome to attend that in the afternoon, and you can find all the details on BuddhistInsights.org. And on Sunday, we'll have a volunteer day. So if you want to stop by the monastery, there will be some gardening chores as well as other different things that help this monastery survive here in the United States. And as usual, we'll be meeting next week again online with all our live streams Wednesday to Thursday, 8 a.m. and 7:30 p.m. New York City time, and on Tuesday at 8 a.m. New York City time with Venerable Vimalanyani, who is offering sutta study from Sri Lanka, actually. And then Venerable Kavilo and Tannissimo, I think, appear on our channel here and there, but I'm not quite sure if that's still happening. It's our surprise guests. So you can check them out as well. Right, I'll pass it on to Bhante for the closing.
Thank you, everyone, again for joining us during this 8 Dhamma Talks series. Once again, first and foremost, at the very outset, I would like to say thank you to Bhante Sudaso, Ayya Soma, and Empty Cloud Buddhist Monastery, and all the wonderful devotees, friends, well-wishers of this beautiful temple for inviting me to this Dhamma Talk series. And I personally enjoyed a lot. My stay here was very beneficial to me for my own practice. I saw many wonderful Kalyana Mitta friends. And really wonderful time, and all these Dhamma Piti, Dhamma Sukha that we have are really from the bottom of our heart, and this will be beginning of another good journey for all of us. And also by practicing, by learning, as I say, read the sutta and then meditate. That will be really helpful. And then listen to the Dhamma talk and then meditate also will be very helpful. And reflecting on these things before sleeping, after waking up, even taking shower, just not thinking any other thing, maybe thinking of some of those suttas that you learn will be really helpful. And by the power of these merits that we all have accrued, let us think of all sentient beings, and especially every one of you, whosoever listening to us right now, right here. And may you all be well, happy, healthy, safe, wherever you are. May you be blessed by the Noble Triple Gem. May you and your near and dear ones in your family, friends, relatives, teachers, elders, and everyone be blessed by the Noble Triple Gem. May you always be associated with wonderful Kalyana Mitta friends. May you always be in the Dhamma path. May you all be well, happy, healthy, and safe wherever you are. May all of you and all sentient beings, all devas and brahmas, and be able to achieve the supreme bliss of Nibbana, the absolute peace and happiness at the end of our samsara. Thinking thus, please keep your palms together close to your heart and say, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Let us also share the merits with all our departed ones. Especially, please kindly think of all your departed ones, your parents, your grandparents, your other whosoever friends and relatives in this birth, and also in so many other innumerable births. You had so many mothers, fathers, you had so many brothers, sisters, you have lot of spouse, children, so many, and teachers, elders, so many. So think of all of them. May they all if they are ready to receive this merit, share this merit, receive this merit, and be well, happy, healthy, safe wherever they are. May they also be able to achieve the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Thinking thus, let us say, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Collectively, let us think of all the people around the world who are suffering from COVID-19 and their family members, and also the other people, elderly people, sick people. May they also be blessed by the Noble Triple Gem, and all our Dana, Sila, Bhavana, meritorious activities that we have accrued during our lifetime and our samsara. May that powerful energy become one united power and be shared with them all. And may they all be blessed by the Noble Triple Gem. May they all be well, happy, healthy, safe wherever they are. Thinking thus, please say Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Now let us share the merits with all the devas and other beings. Ettavata ca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodanto sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata ca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe bhūta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata ca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Let us share the merits with all the departed ones. Idang me ñātenang hontu sukhetā hontu ñātayo. Idang me ñātenang hontu sukhetā hontu ñātayo. Idam me ñātenang hontu sukhetā hontu ñātayo. By the power of this merit, may all of us be associated with wonderful Kalyana Mitta friends. May we be all away from all the asadhus or asapurusha friends. May we all be having all the wonderful good friends, Kalyana Mitta friends, all throughout our life until we attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya. May all of us be able to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana, the absolute peace and happiness at the end of our samsara. Idang me punyang asavakkaya bahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu sabba bhaya pamuncatu sabba roga pamuncatu. Sadhu.